Sorry if you were asked this before or already, Brian, but you guys were pitching a shutout through 3 quarters, and then the 33 points all came in the fourth. What changed?
Yeah, they made some plays. Give them credit. So,
how much do you think your team, especially defensively, was kind of spent and exhausted there?
Yeah, 60-minute game. So, it's not one play, it's not one position, it's not offense, defense, it's collectively. So,
when you get the ball, they get the ball back with 31 seconds left.
Yeah.
It's very similar, eerily similar to kind of Dallas. Do you want to play more aggressively that you were seeing?
Yeah, well, we played man with 2 double robbers sitting right there in the middle part of the field, different than what we did at Dallas. It was man-to-man with 2 robbers, and they hit an in-cut, and then they hit the go over there on the left-hand side.
You were seeing they should.
If we want to compare Animal House characters to the Giants, I think that's Flounder's dad. Disappointed in his son beyond belief, lost for words at what exactly has happened to Delta House. It's DMac SMaK reflecting on the most remarkable comeback win in Broncos history, period, the end. Although there were a lot of great comebacks ushered by John Elway, and Peyton Manning had his share of close games, no doubt about it. There is nothing like that fourth quarter, literally. Broncos have never scored 33 points in any quarter. Teams that had an 18 or more point lead with 6 minutes to go had won 1,602 straight games. The Broncos go 5-2 and are in first place by themselves in the AFC West. With Dallas, Houston, and the Raiders all still to come, it's teams that have sub-500 records. But clearly, there's no guarantee to any victory. Plus, you had this in the day that the team honored Demaryius Thomas and the Super Bowl 50 champions. We'll get to all of it. And we'll hear from Pat Surtain and Bo Nix and Sean Payton and Peyton Manning getting emotional. All to come here on DMac SMaK. We're brought to you by Journey Spice. Let me tell you about Journey Spice.
There's a world of flavor out there, and to find it, you have to take the journey. Journey Spice Company handcrafts the most premium spice and seasoning blends that have no sugar, no salt, are certified USDA organic, non-GMO, vegan-friendly, and always planet-friendly. You are going to love serving amazingly delicious creations while knowing you helped reduce single-use plastics. Make sure to search for Journey Spice Company on Amazon today.
Starts off with thank you, Journey Spice. We love you. More about Journey Spice in a little bit. Save 10% using the code GETSPICY at Amazon.com. This is Courtland Sutton walking in, honoring DT, and he looks great and had an incredible game. We'll get to Courtland Sutton in just a little bit. But Courtland Sutton knew that there was something bigger than just themselves on this particular game.
To get a win on this day makes the day even that much more special. You know, we don't want that there to be a dark cloud over something as special and as, I don't know, monumental in a sense for this organization. We don't want it to be a L, and especially the way that it was trending before the fourth quarter. We definitely didn't want it to be something like that. So to be able to, put together a fight the way we did and come out with a victory on such a special day, celebrating 2 iconic pieces of this organization, it was amazing.
Yeah, agreed. Well said by Courtland Sutton, who had an amazing game. And he's a remarkable player and such a great leader. Courtland Sutton, 6 catches, 87 yards. Oof, 1 away from 88. With a long of 32, 10 targets. He was the man. No doubt about it. And this game did look hopeless. And we're not the only ones. And if you want to go down Receipt Street on Twitter and look at people, myself included. Because when the Broncos did score the ricochet touchdown, and you thought, 19-8, they got the 2-point conversion. I don't know, maybe. And then to see the Giants get their own ricochet touchdown, 28-6. I mean, it's done. Toast. But they kept coming back. They score another touchdown, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. That is very interesting, but still, the Giants have the ball. There's only like 5 and change left to go. And on 3rd and 5, and listen, I don't understand what Jackson Dart was thinking, but how about being the adult in the room if you're the Giants and simply call a running play? Sean Payton very wisely, and I think he is an excellent game manager, realized it's desperation time now, so we're going to use our timeouts. Well, all the Giants had to do was run one more running play, and Sean would have been either out of timeouts or let the clock go down another 45 seconds where you punt, and then there's like, 4.5 minutes to go, and the Broncos have to come 70 yards down the field with either no timeouts or one timeout. Sort of, let it roll out there. You're up by 12 points, but the interception by Stranad, which was so huge, basically enabled the Broncos to propel everything moving forward. But that's not the only lucky break you got. Although, I mean, my goodness.
George Field, talk about that.
What down was that on? Holy cow. Like, when he first caught it, I thought there was a 40 on their team, and then thankfully they were in white and we were in orange. Yeah, that was twofold. It was a turnover, but it was also like put us, like, it's like a double whammy. You get the ball and then you get it there. That probably was the difference of winning and losing the game.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, there was still a lot left to go. But that right there, and the Broncos defense as good as they've been, and they did give up 32 points yesterday, so wasn't their greatest day. But you didn't have any takeaways. Well, there you got one. And boy, oh boy, was that valuable. And then Bo Nix and the offense couldn't do anything wrong in the 4th quarter. It was incredible. It was just flat out incredible, including designing plays like in the dirt, like the day before. Again, we go to Courtland Sutton.
Then obviously we get into 2-minute offense. I don't want to hear about tempo. All right. But I think we made enough plays in a short period of time. And that was part of, like, you can't just have a long 2-minute drill touchdown. We had chunks. And the final play to Sutton was a play we installed yesterday. And it was, you get in those fastball situations with however much time left on the clock, no timeouts. We walked through it, went through it, and sure enough, it came up, the hash, everything. And, the two of those guys made a great play. Throw and catch, put us in field goal range, obviously more realistic field goal range. That's why you keep working, and but there'll be drops, there'll be MEs, there'll be poor snaps, there'll be just a number of things that we're going to see that when tomorrow comes, and it's not tomorrow yet, but when tomorrow comes, as coaches and a team, and I just told them, I said, look, we're going to play in bigger games, so.
Yeah, Sean wasn't happy with everything. We'll get to that in a second. But I just want to salute Courtland Sutton.
What's crazy is we installed it yesterday, and we the first live rep we got was what you watched. So Courtland Sutton's just the man. That's all I got to say.
Ain't no doubt about that. In terms of like when a game is ready and when the hay's in the barn, for them to be designing things up until the last second, after a pretty stressful couple weeks going to Philadelphia and then England, and then drawing on a play that you had called and put into installation the day before, remarkable.
I hate that term, the hay's in the barn. It's never in the barn. Like, you're constantly looking for things. I think it happens a lot on Saturday, but this was a specific look. We had seen two teams this year, New Orleans and New Orleans and Kansas City have plays with 7 or 6 seconds left at the end of the second quarter, like no timeouts. Now, that situation was a little different, and yet we had no timeouts. And it was going to be hard to get an outside matchup, but we put Sutton inside. We shifted him across, got an inside matchup, and then, put Troy on a needle and still got the ball we wanted to Cortland from a different position. So, look, it was the perfect back shoulder throw, good catch, and put us in that yardage we needed.
Remarkable. And if you're feeling jubilation because you actually stayed at the game, well, good on you. Bo Nix chided the fans that left early, but can you blame anybody? Oh, I can't. No. If you decided to beat traffic yesterday, I get it. You're not a less than fan. That being said, boy, were you rewarded if you stuck around and had nothing else to do on Sunday. That's for sure. But it's not like Sean Payton was happy with how his team performed.
I was proud we fought to get back in it. It's like we had to find a way to clean up our mess. So I told them, look, enjoy this. There's some grit there. They didn't quit, but it's important we don't let the euphoria of a win like that cloud the things that need to get cleaned up tomorrow. So they'll enjoy it tonight, but there are a lot of things that we're still doing, particularly offensively, that trouble me, and we'll get it fixed. We have to get it fixed.
And that was the tone throughout the press conference, even in the locker room. The players, and we'll get to that in a second. Listen, you're not the only ones that had your doubt. And Sean Payton was kept being asked, about the process here and what's going on, and was frustrated.
You're telling me what's happened, and I've lived it. That I keep getting my hair cut, right, and it gets grayer. I feel you. There's no redemption. It's just the next week, the next challenge. There's relief, but as a coach, there's oftentimes when you lose, there are a ton of good things that took place that you can build on, and then it's not unusual when you win that there are a ton of things that need cleaned up. So we're going to enjoy today, but tomorrow is not going to be as pleasant.
Well, Sean Payton will talk at 10 a.m. and we'll cover that and see what he has to say and see how unpleasant it actually is. Meanwhile, you have to have a little bit of a moment of happiness.
Yeah. But I can think of 5 or 6. And I wasn't smiling. Benito told me to smile. I said, all right, I'll smile. I just think there's a lot of work ahead that
you could tell and sense the frustration, okay? I kind of feel different about it. I think it was a mistake to not take a week off after London. I think the I thought the Giants were a good team with Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo and Theo Johnson and Glendale Robinson and the rest. I did have the Broncos winning, but I barely had them winning. Jackson Dart, I thought he was pretty good. 15 of 33 for 283, 3 touchdowns. The interception was absolutely killer. Broncos had 4 sacks. They average about 5, so slightly under. But that's because Jackson Dart gets away. He's got talent for sure. Cam Scadaboo, 16 carries for 60 yards. His intangibles kind of, they live other places, but he did have 3 catches for 34 yards, including a touchdown. So he had 94 total yards. That's a pretty effective day with a touchdown thrown in there. It's good. It's not incredible, but it's good. It's effective. And it certainly was good enough to get them a win. The fact that they didn't is incredible to Benito and to Cooper.
I've never been down by that much and been able to come back. It was crazy. I'm still geeked. So
Jonathan, you keep saying you just under your breath, we won. What's it like?
Man, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling to win, man. The offense really carried us today, man. So man, I couldn't be more proud of those guys. I've never loved the team so much in my life.
Did you guys have a huge embrace after Will nailed that kick at the end of the game?
Like embrace with each other?
No. I don't like him that much. It was
Okay. But there were doubts. There were lots of doubts. This wasn't like, oh, we knew we were going to win. I mean, just the opposite. Here's a moment of honesty from Pat Surtain.
You win the game. What was the first thought that went to your head?
Man, relief. I lost hope. I ain't gonna lie. I lost hope. It was one of them games, man, where we felt like we didn't execute. I mean, you go in the film room, there's a lot of corrections, but one thing we didn't lose was composure. And, we fought to the end. You never know in this league, no matter how much you're down, it's always a will and there's always a way. So.
Pat Surtain said he lost hope. Bo Nix said he was thinking about, other things to talk about in his press conference.
Well, I was thinking about how I was going to answer questions if we got shut out. Not where you want to be. And, at some point I knew we've done it before in the fourth quarter. We're going to, at some point we're going to go down and score. Now, maybe too late. We may not score enough, but at some point we're going to do it. We did it, got a good drive there at the end of the third, scored quickly in the fourth. And it's almost like once we scored and got the 2-point conversion, we knew how to play all of a sudden. So it was just, I don't have many answers, but, we just kept fighting.
Something else, man, something else. And Bo knew that, listen, we've got to figure things out, even if it's not our day.
Man, it's just not our day. We can't get anything going. And then it just takes a few plays and a few moments and a few guys making plays, a few, pieces of encouragement by guys. And all of a sudden you go and, I don't even know how we scored 33 points in a quarter. That's kind of insane. But it's just whatever we had to get done. We did it. And it was a full team effort. Just play after play by guys. Now, you want to see it done earlier, but however, whatever it takes, by any means necessary.
And it was incredible. And Bo should be given a ton of credit for it, okay? It's never happened like this. Ever. So I walk away from that win and that game actually pretty energized. There's something with this team that doesn't give up, and it's not always going to go their way. And what adjustments they make, I don't know. Open for conversation on that one. Does Sean have to have somebody else call the plays to get Bo in a better flow? Are they just not really on the right rhythm or the right target? Would somebody else vision for what would work with Bo work better? Sean is I don't know. And I'm happy to ask Sean that question. I don't know if it's something he's reflected on, and we'll see. But Sean, about Bo, judges a lot of things on how things look and how you're carrying yourself.
Team to stay in the game and then go ahead and go back and forth.
I'm like that. I think body language is important to me. It's hard to do something like that if your body language isn't right. You with me? And so that's the most important thing, man. Let's get on to the next series. Let's go. And we finally started making some plays. Like I said, some plays came in big chunks. The go-ahead touchdown with Bo, we got man, and we had kind of saved that little crack series. We ran it a little bit in New Orleans a year ago. So he's got good enough legs, and if you watch the film, everyone on defense is on the right side of the field, and you got your left tackle and the quarterback. Look, credit them. They came back and, I don't like the position we were in on the PI call to begin with, meaning I don't like how we ended up in that position.
Sean, going back to...
But Sean wasn't perfect either, by the way, on the PI call on Riley Moss. Lousy call. Come on, you know that. And then he's running down the field kind of like a lunatic. What was supposed to happen there? And even Sean admitted he lost his mind.
In the heat of the moment, when you go on the field, is that passion for the moment? Are you trying to make a point, or are you just when you went out onto the field?
Listen, that was silly. I had just felt like, man, and I'm close with a number of people on that crew. but it just so happens in the last 3 times, the numbers haven't been good. And I knew the Surtain penalty was wrong. Like that's hard, because it made it 1st and 5. That led to their first score. That's happened one other time. I just wanted them to hear me. Can't do that.
You can't do that. Sean wasn't perfect either, and what adjustments they make, we'll see. But at the end of the day, you had a quarterback who just didn't give up. At the end of the day, you had a quarterback who has had now remarkable comebacks, and a quarterback is measured by how they do on 3rd down, how they do in the red zone, and how they do coming from behind. And you have 3 games in a row where the Broncos were trailing to come from behind and win. 3 in a row, with this one being the most remarkable. Good for Bo, man. Good for Bo.
No. Listen, but he got it going, and he started smiling, and he just all of that, and it was exciting to see. It just went back and forth. I said to him, when you do this long enough, you'll be in 5 or 6 of those games. I feel like I've been in 5 or 6 of those games. I can think of them right now. And you just hope, when you're done, that you won more than you lost when you're in one of those.
Yeah, well, they won yesterday, and that's what matters. So at the end of the day, how did you play so good after playing so bad?
We just saved all our good ones for the 4th quarter, and they worked. We just kept running them, and we found some momentum, and our defense found some stops. We got a huge turnover, and all of a sudden we just got some life back. Thought we could win the game, and so we, kept playing until we won the game.
It was impossible to miss the emotions of Demaryius Thomas and the Super Bowl 50 team. We'll get to that in a second. Just want to let you know about Journey Spice, where you can just pinch the top, comes right off, put it on there. It's incredible. Non-GMO, no salt, no sugar, no fuss, no muss. Flavor in and plastic out. We love Journey Spice. And if you like anything that we do, well, certainly orders yourself some Journey Spice. Amazon.com. Scrolling down here. There it is. Save 10% off all Journey Spice at Amazon.com using the code GETSPICY. Pre-game was special. Demaryius Thomas's parents, friends, relatives, Super Bowl teammates, Broncos alums. It was the largest gathering of Broncos alums ever. And it was amazing to see the statue unveiled and to hear from Demaryius Thomas's mom.
For sure. Katina and Bobby, we visited last night, and I know this is a really special day for you. Can you put into words what it will be like when you're on that field in about 2 hours and you're celebrating DT going into the Ring of Fame?
Me, myself, I would be elated to play a part in this and to represent DT amongst all his family, his community, because he loved each and every person out here like it was his family. He called them family, and he said he will forever love y'all Denver Broncos community. And I would also be sad because he's not here to partake in this event and to see all the love and the support that he still has today.
That's awesome, man. Meanwhile, Gary Kubiak up there, proud of his Super Bowl 50 team. We'll get to that in a second. And his best memory of DT.
You have obviously a different perspective on Demaryius Thomas.
Dave, I thought a lot about this in the past month, knowing that I was coming up here. I would say this. We all know DT's a Hall of Fame football player, and he's a Hall of Fame person. But I'm going to pay him the highest compliment I think you can pay a player. On the day that he won his biggest award, or was on a world championship football team, he had 1 catch for 6 yards. And you would have thought DT had 15 catches for 200 yards in that game. He was a great teammate, a great person, and he was a selfless guy when it came to football and his job. Just a tremendous young man.
That's pretty awesome. Peyton Manning was emotional talking about DT.
Yeah. So the fact that it's going to be up there on the stadium next to mine means a lot because we were close, and he was so close to my family as well. So that means a great deal. So just seeing that at halftime, I haven't seen it yet. Obviously, I'll see it when everybody else is. But seeing his name up there next to mine at halftime, that'll be pretty special.
Yeah, we'll have that for you in just a second. The unveiling was cool. That's Marcus Ware helping out his parents, Gary Kubiak. You can see Peyton Manning's statue right next to him. And here it comes, and obviously an emotional moment, packed house. Crowd goes crazy. Mom touches his face. Crowd chanting DT. Pretty amazing moment right there, my friends. Sad, though. Way too young. And Ronnie Hillman is passed as well, another Super Bowl 50 champion. Awesome moment, emotional moment, and it is an emotional moment in the most memorable game. Really incredible. And Gary Kubiak pointed out, because there were so many guys from the Super Bowl 50 team there, it was remarkable how many fellows were there, how special they are.
As their head coach, when you think back, and I would think fondly thinking back on what that team was about, give us 2 or 3 things to come to mind.
The first thing, Dave, is it took everybody we had. You go back and you go through the season, whether it was losing Peyton for 7 weeks and Brock coming in, whether it was Ronnie, bless his soul, coming in and playing for CJ and doing a great job. I know we played like 8 or 9 offensive linemen throughout the course of the year. The job that our defensive staff did with those players, the no-fly zone, my boys, they were incredible. But the greatest thing about that team, Dave, is they were hard on each other. There was a lot of peer pressure, and they played as hard as any football team I've ever been around. So I love them to death. You figure it out when you see guys 10 years later just how good of people you had on that team as well. A lot of beautiful families here, great men, great husbands. I'm proud of you guys.
He's getting choked up too. Sean Payton recognizes that this Super Bowl 50 team, and I know it from being here where that team from the late 90s was cast a big shadow up until the Super Bowl 50 team won. And now it's been 10 years since then. So you went, a long time. You went from 99 to 2015. So you went a good chunk of time without a Super Bowl. And the chunk of time has been close to similar right now. Sean Payton understands the importance of that team.
Super Bowl 50 team here. That's an all-timer right there.
I think I said to these guys prior to the game, I said, man, you're playing for, and I said the Super Bowl 50 team is important. I said, but there's also a player going into the Ring of Fame who his family's here. Cortland, you played with him. You're playing for all these alumni that are back. We said it yesterday, and I'll say it again now. They're the lifeblood of the program. Both Kerry.
Emotional, significant, remarkable comeback. Great ceremony at halftime. You can see here they shooting this from the Muggle box, from the press box. So they unveil DT's like a photograph. Crowd goes crazy. Carrie and Greg Penner, DT's family. And then you'll see, the Ring of Famers are there in their orange jackets. Emmanuel Sanders got up and spoke for the team wearing a DT jersey. It was awesome. The whole thing was awesome. But the game itself was a disaster until it turned out to be the most wonderful thing ever. And so, was it perfect? No, it wasn't perfect. But am I bummed? Are you kidding me? I'm fired up. I'm excited. And yeah, there's some Tebow-esque moments going on out there. I'm not going to lie about that. That's for sure. I mean, Tebow-esque moments, it's not about being a quarterback. Bo Nix is clearly a better quarterback than Tim Tebow. It's about perseverance and winning when everything seems stacked against you. That's what the true essence of the Tebow time was. It was a net positive influence, not an evaluation on whether he could play quarterback, but can you win? And frankly, that Super Bowl 50 team, as you heard Kubiak say, Peyton Manning missed a bunch of games. There were backups playing left and right. They were winning close games. And then when it mattered most, because they had bonded so much throughout the whole year, they could put it all together when it mattered the most. This team has those traits. And a game like yesterday will literally be remembered forever. And so if it is to be remembered forever, I think it is to be celebrated.
This one is for DT, my brother. This one is for DT, baby.
We gonna get it done, I promise you. I promise you. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Never say die, Broncos. That's why we fight. Mile High Magic is real. Let's get it. Wow. What a win, baby.
Keep it pushing. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't clean, but we got the job done. That's all that matters.
Big dog, baby. Undeniable. Undeniable. Let's go.